Hi everybody, how you guys doing? Okay, so this is the new thing coming out of the UN and the NATO and everything. Kuwait makes DNA testing and storage of its citizens mandatory. They're claiming it under, no doubt, some kind of secured or national security thing for terrorist attacks, so that everybody has or the government has all their DNA on file. So if they're ever involved in a DNA or a terrorist attack, rather, the government has the DNA on file. That's what they're claiming. Kuwait has become the first country in the world to make DNA testing mandatory for all citizens living in the country. Well, they call it testing, but what it is actually not only is it testing, but it's actually storage of DNA of all citizens. Although some countries in the world, including the United States, the United Kingdom, Sweden, and Australia, have databases that keep a record of DNA of anyone who has been convicted of a crime, this is the first law that makes the database mandatory for all citizens, and the first country to actually implement this. The country claims the move will help curb the growing threat of violence by various militant groups in the Gulf region. No, it's so that they can pre-crime you better, ladies and gentlemen. So, the DNA law requires all of 1.3 million citizens and 2.9 million foreign residents in Kuwait to have their DNA entered onto a national database. Hint, hint, nod, nod. This is coming, folks. The national database will then be used to identify suspects who carry out attacks in the country. Like I said, they're going to pre-crime the shit out of these people. And they're going to look for those stress markers. And I guarantee you, those with high stress markers, they're going to pre-crime them like crazy. This is not good for any number of citizens, folks. And basically, the laws come with strict compliance. Anyone who refuses to submit their DNA for testing risk 1 year in prison and fine up to $33,000. Those who provide a fake sample can also be jailed for up to 7 years. This is no doubt similar to Gattaca. And this is coming from Anon News, so I don't know. This stuff has kind of been wishy-washy lately, but genetic researcher at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, yada yada yada, has also basically said this is better if they did it for the kids and everything, but in the end, folks, nothing good can come of this. When you're born, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what country you're in, when you're issued that birth certificate, your DNA is already taken. It is already stored, and basically what happens is I forget what it's actually called, but in the United States, the NSA actually has a warehouse. It's claimed to be a warehouse, but it's actually a larger facility now, where it houses a DNA reference and something called a lifeline grid or something like that, similar, of all the major things that your DNA is supposed to do. And basically, you know how the weirdos are. They say that, from that they basically write your life story for you, and it basically gets played out, which, given my situation and not one but two militaristic interventions and not having served in the military, I almost believe this is true. My fiance being told by the U.S. Navy to leave me physically and sexually when she joined the military was strike one, and having Air Force OSI involved in that shady incident in the school was another. And I have yet to find any real information on either one of those issues, and the lawyers basically don't want to do it for any reasonable amount of money. So I believe this beyond any reasonable doubt to have serious issues. And this is basically just another reason that, you are a sheep, you are cattle, and when they find out what your DNA says, and they run it through all the nice programs for NATO and the UN and everybody else, you are going to be targeted in so many ways, it's ridiculous. I mean, they're selling your bond right now. They're making millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars on the bond that they created when you're born. No doubt this database will also be used where your DNA will be copyrighted by the state and you will basically have no rights whatsoever as soon as this becomes mandatory in your country. And I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, this is coming, and I know this is coming because this will basically copyright you. It's already copywritten secretly, but this will definitely put the last nail in the coffin, ladies and gentlemen. They say that Kuwait is the first one on record to do this. I believe that probably to be true, but as you know, folks, it's been done since about the 50s.